Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, you're going to learn how to always win at poker. This is a genius magic trick that will make you look like a poker professional who knows how to dominate the card table. My name's Oscar Owen, and let's get started. The magician has a deck of cards, and he shows that each card is different. And he says he's going to demonstrate why you should never play poker with a magician. So for this demonstration, we only need 20 cards, so he counts them off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. The magician then says from this point onwards, he will not touch the cards. So he instructs the spectator to cut these in half. So the spectator cuts them roughly in half like that. He then says, let's see how close you were to actually cut it in half. So deal them out onto the table and count them. So the spectator picks up the cards and goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in this case, the spectator was actually able to cut the cards exactly in half. And the magician jokes, saying they must be very good at handling cards and beating them at poker is going to be very hard. But if the spectator had cut more or less cards, it really doesn't matter. Because what the spectator is going to do now is shuffle these two piles together. Now it's very important for you to remember this moment here, because as you can see, each and every card is genuinely being mixed up by the spectator, and the magician has absolutely no control over them. So burn this image into your head, because it couldn't be any more fair. Now these cards here are shuffled, and the magician explains that most people don't actually know how poker works, so he'll quickly show them before we do the real thing. So he tells the spectator to deal out, let's just say, 5 hands onto the table. So the spectator does this. And these 5 hands would go to 5 players. Each player would then look at their cards. They would judge if they're good cards or bad cards and bet some money down. And the person at the end who has the best cards would win all the money. So now the spectator understands how the game works. He's instructed to pick up all the piles in any order that they want. And then they can also cut the cards a few more times to randomize things even more. Then what he's asked to do is to deal out 4 piles of 5 cards, because we've got 20 cards in total, and in a normal poker game, you need 5 cards in each hand. So the spectator deals out 4 piles of 5 cards. And then finally, the magician says, please choose the hand that I'm going to use to play poker with. So the spectator randomly chooses, let's say, this pile here. The magician picks up his pile and looks at them. And he says, despite the spectator handling the cards the entire time, despite the spectator shuffling and cutting and mixing the cards, and despite the spectator choosing which hand I get, it just so happens that the spectator gave me an ace, a king, a queen, a jack, and a 10, which is an almost unbeatable hand in poker. And that is why you never play poker with a magician. That is, unless the magician is on your side, because all he needs to do is snap his fingers over the other cards, and you'll notice that he's made them also a royal straight. As you can see, even though the magician didn't even touch the cards, somehow he's made the spectator deal everyone a perfect hand. And you can learn how to do this powerful, self-working magic trick in less than 5 minutes. Right guys, so I'm restarting my coaching program soon, where I will personally teach a small group of you magic over Zoom. Now this is something that I did a couple of years ago, and it's by far the fastest way to master magic, as I personally tell you what to learn, answer any questions that you might have about presentation, confidence, or anything magic related, and I'm with you every single step of the way so you can achieve your magic goals. So if you're over the age of 18 and you're serious about improving your magic, then sign up using the link below and I'll email you more information. So recently I learned this fascinating magic trick from a friend of mine, and it utilizes an old technique known as the Gilbreth principle. Now this principle allows the spectator to fairly riffle shuffle the cards, whilst the magician retains complete control over them. And what makes this trick even more remarkable is that the magician never touches the cards themselves, yet every single time the spectator will deal a perfect poker hand. So let's learn how to do this amazing effect. So you'll be amazed to know that this is a self-working magic trick that just uses a normal deck of cards. So what I want you to do is go through the deck and pull out all the aces, the kings, the queens, the jacks, and the tens, and then you need to put them in this order. You need a ace, then a king, then a jack, then a queen, then a jack, then a 10, ace, king, queen, jack, 10. The suits don't matter at all, but they just need to be in this alternating order until you get to the end of the cards. Once you've done that, collect up this stack of 20 cards and place them on top of the deck. To begin, you can do some false cuts and shuffles, or what I like to do is just go straight into the trick and say, for this demonstration, I need 20 cards. You just count off 20 cards. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Then I say I'm not going to touch the deck from this point onwards, and you just instruct the spectator to cut the cards in half. So the spectator cuts the cards roughly in half, and then you just say, let's see how close you were to actually getting them in half. So please pick up the cards for me, and then just deal them down onto the table and count how many you cut. So the spectator will pick up their cards, and they'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in this case, I got it exactly, but if the spectator cut a few more or a few less, it really doesn't matter. And you just joke with the spectator saying, oh, you're very close, or you cut exactly 10 cards, you must be very good with them, and it's going to be very hard to beat you at poker, something like that. But what you've actually done now is reversed the order of these cards here, and that's vital for this trick to work. Then what you're going to do is ask the spectator to riffle shuffle these two piles together. So if they can do a riffle shuffle, just tell them to mix up the cards and then push them together. If they can't do a riffle shuffle, then you just pick up both piles, spread them out like this, and then tell the spectator to push them together. And look how fair and clean this looks. It really looks like the cards are being mixed up, because they are. And yet you're still going to have complete control over what card is where. Now, very quickly, an overhand shuffle or a different kind of shuffle won't work with this effect. It needs to be a riffle shuffle or the one I just showed you. Because look how amazing this is. I still can't get my head around how this works. But even though we've mixed up all the cards, if we just count them out in fives, you'll notice that one of each card is here. So ace, king, queen, jack, 10. And it's going to be the same with all of these other cards, even though they're not in order. Ace, king, queen, jack, 10. And it's the same with all these cards here. So double check with your pile, make sure it's the same. And that's how powerful this Gilbreth principle is. So the trick's quite boring if you just end it there. So what I like to do now is demonstrate what would happen in a normal game of poker. So tell the spectator to pick up the cards and deal out 5 hands onto the table. Again, it's got to be 5 hands, and this will make sense why later. They'll deal out 5 hands, and then you just explain how poker works. You would say something like, so you look at your cards, you think how good the cards are, you'd bet some money, and then you'd turn the cards over, and whoever's got the best hand would win the money. So now we're going to play for real, and you can allow the spectator to pick up piles in any order that they like. Then you can even let them cut the cards a few times. And then you say, now let's deal the hands for real. But this time you want to deal 4 piles onto the table, not 5. And the reason for that is 4 piles will mean that each hand has 5 cards, which will allow us to have this, the royal straight. So the spectator then deals out 4 piles onto the table, and amazingly, all of these cards now will have a royal straight in them. So you can ask the spectator to give you whatever pile that they want. So let's say they give you this one, and you say, look, you dealt me an ace, a king, a queen, a jack, and a 10, and that's why you never play poker with a magician unless the magician is on your side. Snap your fingers and you reveal that in all of these hands as well, there's a royal straight. So that's an amazing self-working poker magic trick. I hope you enjoyed it.